Hi, I'm John Gilliott and welcome to this episode of Guitar Slinger. Today I'm going to be performing for a private corporate event for the Fraser Valley Regional Library, and this is out in Abbotsford. So to get started, I've got my contract, which you can see here, basically has all the information, all the details that are pertinent to the event. I've also been allowed to sell CDs there, which is doesn't happen all that often, so that's kind of nice. So I'll just bring them and keep them off to the side in case anybody wants to purchase a CD. So let's have a look at the map as to where the event is from my home.
So there's my place right there, and what I'm going to do is come out the street here, drive to this place called Telegraph Trail, and we're going to go all the way along Telegraph Trail till we get to this place called Glover Road, and then I've got to go down here and along Rolling Crescent up to 232 to the Trans-Canada Highway, which is this big highway here. From here, I'm going to follow the highway, and I'm going to keep traveling east to go to the other side of Canada. I'm going to drag my map a little bit further so you can follow me again down the Trans-Canada Highway. We're going to keep on going, and we're going to go a lot further yet, so you can see I'm still driving and driving and driving. We're going to keep on going. We've got a long ways to go. We're getting close to Abbotsford. This area here is Abbotsford here, but I'll keep going along the Trans-Canada Highway until I get to the hotel. And right here is where I'll be performing. This is the Ramada Plaza and Conference Center, so I'll be driving to there. It's going to be about a 45-minute drive from my home to this conference center. Next is time to get all my gear together, load up the truck, get my clothes together, my guitar and so on, and hit the road.
Alright, so I've charted my route, I've got my contract, let's go outside and let's get loaded up so we're ready to go. So here's some of the gear I'll be using. I've got a couple of speakers in here, one monitor, which I'll use, a powered monitor, CDs, because I'm allowed to bring them, my RC50 for looping. I'm going to do some looping since I'm doing more of a performance through part of the show, and a mic stand.
Alright, so next it's time to load my truck. So here we go, throwing all the gear into the truck. Those are two BR10 Yamaha monitors, which I'll use to help fill the room. That case has another pair of Yamaha speakers that I'm going to use. A bunch of cables that I throw in there. And unfortunately it's an old case, so the zipper doesn't work. I have to bungee it all together. That stand will carry absolutely everything from my truck to the venue. So in that little bag was a mixing board, an RC50, and a bunch of other stuff.
Okay, so here we go. The truck is all loaded up. You can see we have all the gear there in the back of the truck, and we're on the road, and I'll see you at the venue.
Here we are after the 45-minute drive, and to my right is the Ramada Inn, the conference center. I'll get parked quickly. And I've already walked up to the venue just to find out where I've got to load my gear. I'll usually walk up, check things out, make sure there's an elevator and so on. Then once I've done that, then I'll come back down and unload all the gear out of my truck. You can see how the cart has a little handle so I can throw all my gear on the cart. There's two speakers, actually four speakers there, two in the case, the powered monitor, my bag with the RC50 and the mixing board and a bunch of cables, CDs, and my guitar. All fits on one cart. I'll leave my chair, and I'm not going to bother bringing the chair into the venue because they have a chair that's going to work fine for me to do the performance. Going through the door, and then I'll head up the elevator to the second floor where the conference center is. We're now on the second floor and heading towards the ballroom. I think it's called the Pinnacle Ballroom where I'll be playing. It'll be for about 70 to 100 people. Here's the room. And they've left a chair so I know where to set up, and now I'm tearing all my stuff out of my bags and whatnot. You can see there's a little silver unit there. That's my Fishman Aura 16, which gives me a more natural sound. There's my little mixing board. The RC50's in red. What else do I have there? I've also got a volume pedal. I have a kick drum pedal that I created, but I'm not going to use it. I'll wind up throwing it back in my case. There's a box of CDs that'll keep on the side of the stage. There's a power amp that I'm going to use to fill the room. It's a pretty big room, so I'll need to use that power amp in order to power all the speakers. Now I'm throwing the speakers up. I'm going to put one on the stage. I'll put one in one corner of the room, and then on the other side of the stage I'll have a speaker, and I'll put another one on the far end. Here's me just cabling everything up. I have a cable which is in a snake, makes it really quick to plug everything in. And here's my setup. I'm all set. They've allowed me to display CDs, which I normally wouldn't do at a corporate event. The people at the conference center were really nice to get me a cup of coffee, which was really nice while I was setting up. I got to the venue about an hour and a half ahead of time, so I had lots of time to set up. And there's the setup. Here's the venue. Here you can actually hear me playing for the venue. However, I played the first 2 hours just solo guitar. I didn't bother taking a break, so I didn't really get a chance to get a good camera angle where you could actually see me play. Once I was done, the client allowed me to have a bite to eat. There was dessert. Here I am outside in the foyer having my dessert, and also just hanging out while the client does awards and speeches. I wasn't to tear down my stuff until the event was completely finished with and the client was gone. So about half an hour, 45 minutes later after the speeches, I was able to tear down my gear, load it back up on the cart, and out of the ballroom I go. At this point, it's probably about 9:30, close to 10 o'clock. I started my performance from 6 until 8 o'clock as a solo guitar performance. Then I played a couple of songs as sort of a concert for the venue. And then I spent about an hour just hanging out before I was able to tear down and go home. There's all my gear on the cart. Okay, so that's it. I'll just load my stuff into the truck. You see me load my gear in countless other videos, so if you'd like to see me load my gear into the truck, you can check out one of the other videos. I'm tired, so I'm shutting the camera off. So that's the end of this one. We'll see you on the next game. Bye-bye.